This video discusses how the logical connectives that we'll be examining are truth functional and what it means for them to be truth functional. So let's turn to it. All right, so as we move through the course, we're going to come across 5 logical connectives that are truth functional. We have the negation, conjunction, disjunction, material conditional, and biconditional. As logical connectives, what they do is they connect sentences together. At least these 4 do that. So take P and Q to be variables for whatever sentence. So maybe it's a variable, maybe P stands for the grass is green, maybe P stands for the grass is green and the snow is white. Perhaps P stands for the grass is green, and Q stands for if the snow is white, then it's cold outside, so on and so forth. So these 4 connectives connect sentences by going in between them. So these are all less complex sentences. Whereas by connecting those less complex sentences, we get a more complex sentence. So for instance, maybe we went from 2 atomic sentences, maybe P is an atomic sentence and Q is an atomic sentence, and then by putting these connectives in between them, we get compound sentences. Negation, on the other hand, attaches just to the front of a sentence. But we're still going to call it a logical connective, even though it's not connecting 2 sentences. All right, so let's talk about why these logical connectives are truth functional. First, let's suppose that P says that the grass is green. And let's say Q says that it is cold outside. And let's say that reality, or the situation at hand, is such that the grass is green, but it is not cold outside. So what that's going to mean then is that based on reality, P is true, whereas Q is false. So let's fill that in for all of the sentences that we have here in red. Our P's are true, our Q's are false. These connectives are truth functional because the meaning of these compound sentences that are formed through them are a function of the truth value of their constitutive sentences and the meaning of the connective in question. So for instance, when T is an input to negation, negation outputs false. And when the left side of conjunction inputs a T, and the right side of conjunction inputs an F, it spits out an F. So here for the negation, it's going to turn out that the complex sentence is false, even though the P is true. Here for our conjunction, it's going to turn out that the whole conjunction is false, even though the P is true and the Q is false. For our disjunction, when the left side is true and the right side is F, it spits out true. So our complex sentence formed by the disjunction would be true in that case. For a material conditional, when the left side is inputted as true and the right side inputs false, it returns the truth value false. So our complex sentence in this case would be false. And our biconditional, when the left side inputs T and the right side inputs false, it returns the value false. So again, to reiterate, these logical connectives are truth functional because the more complex sentence that is formed out of these connectives the truth value of them is a function of the truth value of the sentences that's being connected by them. So depending on whether our P's are true or false, or depending on whether our Q's are true or false, that's what's going to make the more complex sentence either true or false. All right, so that ends this video explaining what it means for our logical connectives to be truth functional. I hope it was helpful.